Every day you trade a piece of your life for something, a habit, a distraction, a decision. The question is, are you trading for treasure or are you trading for trash? Discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. And if you keep paying with the wrong currency, one day you'll be bankrupt where it matters most, in your soul. Human beings are not trees. We don't have to stay where we're planted. We can move, we can think, we can decide. And when we decide with clarity, discipline, and purpose, we activate a force more powerful than any economic condition or political shift. We activate personal transformation. So today, I want to share with you 10 of the most powerful principles I've ever learned. 10 bricks, if you will, for designing the life you truly deserve. Not just a life of success, but a life of meaning. Because wealth without purpose is poverty in disguise. Let me tell you something. I learned early life doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you're willing to build. And if you want to build a great life, you'd better start by checking the soil you're planting your dreams in. You are the architect, yes, but even the best blueprint won't matter if the land underneath it is weak, unstable, or poisoned. Your environment, your circle, your surroundings, your daily atmosphere either nourishes your vision or strangles it slowly until it dies. And many people don't even notice the chokehold because it comes so quietly. A sarcastic friend here, a lazy coworker there, a neighborhood where ambition is a foreign word. Before long, your fire dims, your standards shrink, and mediocrity begins to feel normal. I've watched bright minds fade because they stayed too long in poor environments. Good people, smart people, but they were surrounded by complainers, excuse makers, and time wasters. And they couldn't figure out why their lives weren't moving. The truth is, you can't plant the seed of greatness in poor soil and expect it to flourish. That seed needs water, sunlight, and space to grow, and so do you. If your environment isn't feeding your ambition, it's feeding your apathy. And let me warn you, apathy is not passive. Apathy works overtime to convince you that where you are is good enough. But good enough is the enemy of progress. Now, I remember when I was broke, not just financially, but mentally. I was doing what everyone around me was doing, waking up late, blaming the government, waiting for the economy to change. I was walking with people who didn't expect much of themselves, and so they didn't expect much of me. And because they didn't expect much of me, I gave them exactly what they expected, very little. Until one day I got around someone different, someone who made me feel uncomfortable with excuses, someone who didn't let me off the hook, someone who expected me to do better and wouldn't accept less. That one change in environment set the course for everything else. You don't need to leave your life behind. You don't need to throw anyone away. But you do need to rise above the pull of people and places that keep you anchored to an average life. Find a new room, a new table, a new conversation. Get around people who dream bigger, think deeper, and push harder. People who stretch your vision, not shrink it. And if you can't find that environment, create it. Start a group, start a project, start a journal. But refuse to stay where growth is optional. Because if you're serious about wealth, success, and impact, then your surroundings aren't optional. They are either building you up or breaking you down. And it's your job as the architect of your life to choose the foundation. Let's get something clear. There is no such thing as transformation without ownership. If you want to build something worthwhile, if you want to craft a life that matters, it starts with this unshakable truth. It's all on you. Not just the wins, but the losses too. Not just the good days, but the messes you made along the way. Responsibility is not a burden, it's your foundation. The moment you say, this is mine to fix, mine to grow, mine to shape, something powerful happens. You stop waiting for the government to get better. You stop hoping your boss will notice you. You stop praying the wind changes direction, and you start working on the only thing you can truly control you. I remember a time when I had every excuse in the book. I blamed my lack of progress on the economy, my upbringing, even the weather some days. And I was surrounded by people doing the same thing, pointing fingers at everyone but the man in the mirror, but nothing changed, not a thing. Until one day I got tired of spinning in circles, tired of repeating the same year over and over. And I made a decision, not a wish, not a hope, A decision that from that day forward I was going to own it all. The late starts, the missed opportunities, the habits that held me back. It was all mine. And if it was mine, I could change it. Let me tell you something. Most people would rather be a victim than a builder. It's easier. It requires no effort, no reflection, no courage. Victims wait for life to hand them something better. Builders go to work with what they have and make it better. When you accept that your life is the sum total of your own choices, you take back the power. And that's when the architect shows up, the builder, the one who says, I'm going to rewire my thinking, I'm going to restructure my habits, I'm going to renovate my future. It's not always easy to face the truth about your own role in your situation, but it's necessary. You can't fix what you won't face. And let me warn you, those who refuse responsibility keep reliving the same problems. Different faces, same patterns. They build their lives on sand and wonder why everything keeps falling apart. But not you. If you're here to build wealth, to live with intention, to leave a legacy, then take your hands off the blame and put them back on the wheel. Start steering, start adjusting, start laying bricks with purpose. Because until you own your life, you can't change it. But the moment you do, you become the architect and you get to design the future on your own terms. If you're not growing, you're decaying. There's no in between. Life doesn't give you the luxury of standing still. Either you push forward or you quietly fall behind. Now, most people don't notice this decay at first. It happens slowly. A skipped book here, a missed opportunity to learn there. One day you stop asking questions, stop challenging yourself, and before you know it, years have passed and you've become a shadow of what you could have been. That's not by accident. That's by neglect. And neglect is the silent killer of potential. Personal growth isn't a luxury, it's a non-negotiable. If you want to earn more, live more, become more, you have to grow more. You can't bring an old version of yourself into a new level of success. The man who made $10,000 last year won't be the same man who earns $100,000 this year. Something in you must stretch, and that stretch requires input. Growth doesn't happen on wishful thinking. It's fed by discipline. You've got to read the books, attend the seminars, listen to the thinkers, and challenge your own assumptions. And then, most importantly, you've got to apply what you've learned. Otherwise, knowledge just becomes clutter. Back when I started taking growth seriously, I didn't have a grand library. I didn't even know what to read. But I made a commitment to invest in myself daily. A few pages every morning. Notes from every mentor. Application of one idea at a time. And slowly things started to change. My thoughts became sharper. My decisions improved. And so did my results. That's how it works. Grow the man, and you grow the income. Grow the woman, and you grow the business. It's inside-out success. Look around you. Those who stopped growing 10 years ago are easy to spot. Same conversations, same complaints, same paycheck. You can't build a mansion on yesterday's bricks. Every day, you must bring in new material, new insight, new strategies, new strength. Feed your mind like you feed your body. Imagine someone trying to do heavy labor on an empty stomach. That's what it looks like to try building a wealthy life without growing your mind. You'll burn out, give up, or settle. I set a daily standard for myself. Just like I expect myself to brush my teeth, I expect myself to nourish my mind. Whether it's reading 10 pages, learning a new principle, or reflecting on yesterday's actions, I make sure I'm not letting the weeds grow while I'm busy pretending I've arrived. Because the truth is, none of us arrive. We only level up. And the only people who level up are the ones who show up daily for growth. Don't wish for life to hand you better circumstances. Become the kind of person who's ready for better ones, because when you grow, everything else grows with you. Discipline is not some distant virtue reserved for the extraordinary. It's the daily bridge between the dreams in your mind and the reality you want to live. Without discipline, your dreams are just empty hopes, floating in the wind, never quite touching the ground. I've seen too many people with bright ideas and grand plans fall short because they lack the muscle to follow through. It's not talent or luck that separates those who succeed from those who don't tit. It's the simple, consistent act of doing what needs to be done even when you don't want to. Discipline means doing what you should, exactly when you should, whether your emotions agree or not. Some days the alarm clock goes off and you feel tired, discouraged, or just plain uninterested. Discipline is the voice that whispers, "Get up anyway." It's showing up to the grind when motivation has packed its bags and left town. The difference between a successful life and an unfulfilled one is often just a handful of those small moments repeated every day. I remember when I was building my first business. There were countless distractions pulling me away, temptations to procrastinate, moments of self-doubt, and the endless noise of everyday life. But I made a commitment to discipline. I set my schedule and stuck to it. I didn't wait for inspiration. I forced myself to act. That discipline turned my scattered efforts into a consistent routine. It transformed my good intentions into tangible progress. Discipline turns hope into habit. And once a habit is formed, it carries you forward even when your willpower runs dry. Imagine discipline as a bridge made of bricks. Each act of consistency lays one more brick, steady and sure, connecting your dreams with your reality. Without those bricks, there's only a gap, a chasm of unfulfilled potential. Too often people think discipline is a punishment or a limitation, but it's actually the greatest freedom you can give yourself. Because when you master discipline, you master your destiny. You no longer rely on fleeting feelings or unpredictable circumstances. You become the architect of your life, building it day by day with deliberate action. Let me be clear, discipline isn't easy. It's hard work. It demands sacrifice. But it's also the only way to create anything of lasting value. Ideas die without discipline. Plans fade into forgotten dreams. Potential remains buried in the soil of procrastination. Discipline is what transforms a whisper of possibility into a shout of accomplishment. So when you feel like quitting, remember that discipline is the bridge you must cross. It's not about perfection, it's about persistence. Show up, do the work, build the habitat, watch as your dreams take shape in the world around you. Goals are more than just wishes whispered into the wind. They are the blueprints for your life's architecture. Without clear, specific goals, you're wandering through the fog, hoping to stumble upon something great, but hope is no strategy. If you want to build a mansion, you don't just start piling bricks randomly. You draw detailed plans. The same is true for your life. Clarity about what you want to achieve sets the course and fuels the journey. When I began my own journey, I learned quickly that vague desires yield vague results. Saying, "I want to be successful," is like wanting to travel but never deciding on a destination. It's the specific goals that fire you up and keep you moving forward when the road gets tough. They turn ambition into action. You see, goals create a mental picture, a clear image of what your life looks like when you succeed. And the mind is a powerful tool that works overtime to make what it sees real. Defining what you want in exact terms is critical. Don't just say, "I want more money." Say, "I want to earn $100,000 a year by December next year." Don't just say, "I want to be healthier." Say, "I want to lose 20 pounds and run a 5K in 3 months." Put a timeline on your goals and make them measurable. This clarity isn't about rigidity, it's about direction. It turns your energy into focused, purposeful steps. I found that when I began to write down my goals, the process of defining them sharpened my thinking. Writing them gave those ideas weight and commitment. It's like planting seeds in fertile soil. Every day you water those seeds with your thoughts, your plans, your actions. Without a clear target, your efforts scatter like seeds in the wind, landing nowhere useful. Visualizing your goals is the next step. Before you even take the first step, build it in your mind. Picture what achieving your goal feels like, looks like, smells like. When your mind is convinced and inspired by that image, it pushes you forward. You'll find yourself naturally taking steps, making choices, and saying no to distractions that don't align with your vision. Clarity creates destiny because it transforms the invisible into the visible, the intangible into the tangible. Your life begins to change the moment your goals come into focus. When your destination is clear, the path starts to reveal itself. The architect doesn't leave anything to chance. They design, plan, and then build with precision and purpose. So take the time to get crystal clear about what you want. Don't settle for somewhere better or someday. Define your goals in detail. Write them down. Imagine them. Let that clarity fuel your daily actions. Because destiny belongs to those who decide exactly where they want to go and then build the road to get there. Success doesn't come in a single grand moment. It's the result of small, consistent actions taken day after day. Imagine trying to climb a mountain. You don't leap to the summit in one bound. Instead, you take one step, then another, steady and sure. That's how life works. It's the small disciplines practiced daily that build the foundation for massive success. I've learned that people often overlook this truth because they want fast results. They look for shortcuts or quick fixes, but true transformation is rarely sudden. It's the small improvements, the tiny shifts in behavior that add up over time. When you improve just 1% each day, you don't just improve, you multiply your progress. It's a compounding effect that turns small steps into unstoppable momentum. In my own life, I started with simple habits reading, a few pages daily, setting clear goals each morning, writing down my thoughts, practicing gratitude. These weren't monumental tasks, but over time they shaped my mindset and actions. These small disciplines accumulated until I found myself moving closer to the life I desired without realizing how far I had come. The danger lies in underestimating the power of these daily actions. Many people wait for motivation or the perfect time, but there is no perfect moment. The daily steps you take right now, no matter how small, are the real architects of your future. They form the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. Momentum builds when you show up consistently, even on days when you don't feel like it. Discipline means committing to the process, trusting that the small efforts you make today will lead to the breakthroughs you seek tomorrow. It's about understanding that success is a marathon, not a sprint. The daily disciplines build your stamina, your confidence, and your progress. Remember, every great achievement started with the decision to take the first step and then the next. The mountain doesn't move. You do. When you commit to daily improvement, you're programming your mind for growth and success. You're creating a rhythm that carries you through obstacles, distractions, and setbacks. Small daily actions aren't glamorous or flashy, but they are powerful. They are the heartbeat of transformation. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. Start with what you can do today and keep moving forward. Over time, those small steps will become leaps of progress that lead you straight to the life you deserve. Success is simple. It's a few key disciplines practiced every day. Take your first step now and keep stepping. There's a remarkable power in putting your thoughts down on paper. The mind is a busy place full of ideas, plans, doubts, and dreams, but it's not a reliable storage unit. It forgets, confuses, and sometimes misleads. When you capture your journey in a journal, you're not just writing words, you're creating clarity, focus, and a mirror to your own growth. Think about this. How many times have you had a great idea only to lose it in the chaos of daily life? Or felt overwhelmed by your emotions and thoughts swirling around with no clear direction? That's where journaling becomes your greatest ally. Writing down your thoughts helps you organize what's inside, uncover patterns, and make better decisions. I've kept a journal through much of my life, and it's been like a personal library of wisdom full of lessons learned, goals laid out, setbacks analyzed, and breakthroughs celebrated. When you look back, you see how far you've come, you recognize the struggles you've overcome and the growth you've made. It's not just a record, it's a tool for transformation. Journaling forces you to slow down and reflect. In a world that moves fast and demands your attention, reflection is a rare and powerful act. When you write, you engage both your mind and your heart. You clarify your purpose, affirm your goals, and release what no longer serves you. This process sharpens your thinking and strengthens your resolve. The simple act of writing also commits you to your goals. When you put a goal in your journal, it becomes more than a wish, it becomes a contract with yourself. You start to see the steps clearly, track your progress, and hold yourself accountable. Without a record, it's easy to lose sight and drift away from what matters most. Journaling isn't about perfection or fancy writing. It's about honesty. It's your private space to be real with yourself. It's a place to acknowledge fears, celebrate victories, and plan your next moves. This habit creates a feedback loop of growth because you learn from your past while designing your future. When the mind feels foggy or uncertain, the journal is your anchor. You return to it, find your footing, and remind yourself why you're on this journey. It's a compass in moments of confusion and a source of motivation when enthusiasm fades. Start today. Take a few minutes to write about your dreams, your challenges, your plans. Capture the small wins and the lessons from setbacks. Build your personal library of wisdom one page at a time. In this simple habit lies the power to think deeply, act intentionally, and architect the life you truly deserve. Your journal is more than words on paper. It's the blueprint of your transformation. Your body is the vehicle that carries you through the journey of life, the foundation on which every dream, every goal, and every ambition must stand. Build a grand life on a weak frame. I've seen many who chase wealth, success, and recognition only to find themselves sidelined by poor health. The truth is simple. Wealth is meaningless without health. It's a lesson hard learned by many, but understood by few. When you neglect your body, you rob yourself of the energy, clarity, and stamina needed to take consistent action. Ambition fades quickly when you're battling exhaustion or illness. Your plans, no matter how brilliant, become hostage to your failing health. I remember in my own life, times when I pushed too hard, ignoring the signals my body gave me. It was a costly mistake. It made me realize that taking care of your health is not just about avoiding disease, it's about investing in your capacity to perform, to create, and to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Eating with intention means feeding yourself like the architect of your future. Choose nourishment over convenience. Your body needs fuel that sustains, energizes, and heals. When you treat food as a friend, not an enemy or a convenience, you build resilience. Movement is equally important. A sedentary life dulls your mind and weakens your spirit. Daily motion, whether it's walking, stretching, or more vigorous exercise, keeps your body strong and your mind sharp. It's not about perfection, but about commitment, showing up for yourself every day. Sleep is often overlooked, yet it is the silent pillar of health. Discipline in sleep habits ensures your body recovers, your mind resets, and your spirit renews. Without good rest, you lose focus, creativity, and the energy needed to build the life you envision. I've learned that successful people guard their sleep as fiercely as their time. They understand that rest is a key part of discipline, not a weakness. Remember, if you lose your health, all your plans become someone else's. Your dreams don't pause because you're unwell. They move on, or worse, slip away. Protecting your health is protecting your ability to design your destiny. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity. Take responsibility for your body. Treat it like the precious asset it is. Make conscious choices every day that support your well-being. When you do, you're not just adding years to your life, you're adding life to your years. You become a stronger architect of your future, able to build with endurance, clarity, and passion. The foundation of a great life is a healthy body and mind. Protect that foundation fiercely. Without it, no matter how grand your vision, your life will never reach its full potential. You see, life isn't just about how much you can gather or accumulate. True wealth begins when you make room to give. It's a principle that's as old as time, but often overlooked in the rush to build and acquire. When you give, whether it's your time, your knowledge, or your resources, you set in motion a powerful cycle. Giving is the seed that plants the roots of significance in your life. It's not about losing something, it's about gaining much more in return. I've learned through my own journey that the act of giving shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance. When you give freely, you're telling the universe that you trust there's more where that came from. It breaks the chains of fear and limitation, opening doors that you didn't even know existed. And here's the truth. Giving doesn't diminish you, it multiplies you. It builds character, cultivates relationships, and brings unexpected blessings. The architect who builds only for himself creates a fragile structure easily shaken by storms. But the architect who builds to lift others crafts a legacy that stands the test of time. When your life becomes a platform for generosity, you're not just accumulating wealth, you're creating a wealth of meaning. The generous heart is a wealthy heart. It's a heart that finds joy in lifting others, in seeing their lives transformed because of what you've shared. I recall the times when giving something as simple as my time or advice turned into opportunities far beyond what I imagined. The relationships I built through generosity became pillars in my success. It's no accident that some of the most influential people in history are remembered not just for what they own, but for what they gave. The way you give is a reflection of the life you're designing. If you want to build a life of abundance and joy, start by giving without expectation. Giving also teaches humility and gratitude. It keeps you grounded and connected to the world beyond your own ambitions. It reminds you that success is not a solo journey. When you serve others, you're part of something bigger than yourself, a community, a movement, a legacy. Make giving a non-negotiable part of your daily life. Not because you have to, but because you want to. The more you give, the more you grow, not just financially, but in spirit and in purpose. You become the architect of a life that matters, a life that inspires, a life that leaves a mark long after you're gone. Generosity is the currency of significance. Invest in it freely and watch as your life transforms into something far greater than you ever dreamed. When you reach a point where you can teach others, you know you've truly mastered what you set out to learn. Teaching isn't just about passing on information. It's about embodying the principles you've lived by and sharing them in a way that sparks transformation in someone else's life. It's the ultimate test of your understanding. Because when you teach, you deepen your own knowledge. You clarify what matters most. The process forces you to reflect, to simplify, and to communicate with purpose. I found that the greatest leaders aren't those who hoard wisdom or success. They're those who pass it on freely. When you mentor someone, you're not just giving advice, you're lighting a fire that can grow beyond your reach. Every lesson you share multiplies your impact exponentially. Imagine a single seed growing into a mighty tree that bears fruit for generations. That's what teaching does to your legacy. The life you architect doesn't end with your own achievements. It expands through the lives you influence. Teaching creates a ripple effect that carries your principles far beyond your own efforts. It's how your philosophy lives on even after you're gone. This is the kind of immortality worth striving for, not the fleeting kind carved in stone, but the enduring kind written in hearts and minds. Sharing your journey also grounds you. It reminds you where you started, how far you've come, and what it really takes to build a life of value and success. There's a certain humility in teaching, acknowledging that growth is a continuous process and that you're both a student and a teacher on this path. The power of teaching lies in its ability to turn individual progress into collective progress. When you take someone under your wing, you're investing in the future, your own and theirs. You become part of a greater story, one of continuous improvement, shared wisdom, and mutual uplift. I encourage you to see teaching not as a chore, but as a privilege. It's the final proof that you've taken control of your life's architecture. When you teach, you build not just your own life, but the foundation for others to build theirs. And in doing so, you ensure that what you've built is timeless, unshakable, and truly significant. To architect the life you deserve is to build a legacy not just in wealth or success, but in the lives you touch and the wisdom you pass on. Teaching is the bridge that carries your life's work into the future.